Ohr Hatorah. And to explain this matter, now according to the simple meaning, all the creations came before man, Matos, in the 10 sayings, like the statement, let there be light and let there be a firmament. And also the angels that were created on the second day. So to the plant life, that the earth should bring forth plants, and wildlife and domesticated animals, that the earth should come out, should bring out a living soul. All these statements were before the statement of let there be man, let's make man. This is the last of all the 10 statements. It was on the 6th day of the creation, works of creation. Other than the 10 things that were created on Erev Shabbos between the sun going down. And this is why it says that even the worm on the ground came before you. That's why it says you created me last. At the end of the works of creation, that from this we can learn that also in the spiritual source there is a certain level and greatness to inanimate plants and animals over the man, that for this reason all of them came before man, and man was created after all of them. That like this is like the concept that Esav was the firstborn. That it was necessary, and Yaakov had to go and buy the firstbornship from him. But there's also the opposite, that even though Yaakov was first, there's an idea of the klippa coming before the pre, the peel is before the fruit. So too the statement. Why the question? Why is it that the goats go in the front of the flock? Like the creation of the world, in the beginning it was dark, and afterwards is light. And the chaff and the stalks come before the wheat. The wheat kernels. So the concept of the kings of Esav that come before the kings of Bnei Israel. So there's a purpose to them, and the implication here is that they have a milah, just like the peel has a milah over the pre, and that it protects it and so forth, and comes first. And this is why we see that a person needs the inanimate plants and animals to live. That's what a person eats and is sustained by and gets their life force. And also for garments and dwelling places. That a person needs a house that's made out of the inanimate stones. Or in a garment from wool or linen and the like, shehim tzomech, which are plants, like blood, summer, geffen. guess, and also Tamar Izim. So you have all in the animals, so too the animals and the plants for a person to eat, that the bread satiates the heart of man. But the inanimate plants and animals can live without people. But the true growth of the produce on the earth it happens because of a person, only because of man's efforts and work in the field. Animals that are shepherded need the shepherd to properly graze in a way they wouldn't just in the wild. But a man cannot last without the inanimate plants and animals. And anything that can't survive without something else. So we must say that they receive their completeness from their like it's brought in another place on the verse that not on the bread alone will man live, but a man lives on all that which comes out of the mouth of Hashem. That this refers to the divine spark, the source of that comes from Hashem's mouth, that's enclosed in the food. That what did Hashem say that's in the food? He said, let the greenery grow from the ground. So this statement of Hashem, this creative force, is in the food, and this creative force from Hashem's statement gives life. And let the earth bring forth a living soul. And so that statement is also higher than the statement, let us make man. Like we said, it comes first and gives a completeness to man, like the concept of the world of Tohu that comes before the world of Tikkun. And look in the Mamar B'Shalach about the peel that comes before the fruit. Or Parshas Chai b'dibur hamaschil Einitz Chaim Shamim Tes. And this is what the Alter Rebbe says in Torah Ohr Hatorah. He says that just like the bread, that it says about it that a person will live from the bread, even though the person himself also has a statement creating him, let us make man. Only that the other foods draws down from the external concept of the mother, of Bina, that's higher than Zir Anpin. That Zir Anpin corresponds with Adam, but the other food comes from higher than that, from Chitzonius Bina. Like it's brought in the Kavanos of Erev Yom Kippur. And what the great thing about eating on Erev Yom Kippur is that it comes from Chitzonius Bina, from the Kavanos of the Ari. And therefore there is a pleasure and a good taste in the food. Because Bina is the world of pleasure. That's where Atik is revealed. So these foods were taken from the external concept of Bina, and Bina has a certain concept of pleasure that's in it. So the dregs of the pleasure of Bina are in the food that we eat, that go into Adam, Ziranpin. But that's specifically only in their source above, that they have a source that's high. But after they're created and brought, and they come down to be foods in the physical world, we see the opposite. Shari b'dalad madregos domim tzomei chaim medaber arei medaber naile harbe mehabalei chaim, that we see these 4 levels of the inanimate plant, animal, and man, and the speaker, that the speaker is higher than the animals. It's the highest level, sheish bo nefesh hamaskelas, that also has an intellectual soul, mash'en kim bebal chai, which is not the case within the living animal. V'abal chai naila mina tzomei chulu, and the animal is higher in level than the plant, like it's brought in another place that these 4 levels of inanimate plant, animal, and man, and the speaker correspond with the 4 letters of Hashem's name. Vidalad olamos atzilus b'riya yitzira asiya, and the 4 worlds. So it's found then that just like the world of Atzilus is higher and exalted from the lower worlds of Bria, Yitzira, and Asiya, so too the speaker is higher in level than the inanimate plant and animal of Zo'enin, Chaviv Adam Shenivra B'Tselem, and this is why it says in Mishnah, in Pirkei Avos, that man is considered dear, that he's created with in the image of Hashem. Like it says in the Tzelem of Elokim, man was made. That's why in the supernal chariot there's the imagery of a man. But the animals, that corresponds with the supernal chariot, that they lift the chariot. That just like spiritually, the concept of the animals of the supernal chariot are not compared to the concept of man that's upon the chariot. So too, there's no comparison in terms of a level of the inanimate, the plant and the inanimate plant and the animal to the concept of man. You can't compare. That is, that the man will elevate and lift up all the other portions, the inanimate, the plant, the animal, that like when a person eats or is sustained, and then goes and prays with the strength that he got from that eating. He elevates the food that he eats. Parshas and look what's brought in the Likutei Torah concerning the idea that man called names to all of the animals. That all these other things were created only to serve me. And therefore a simpleton is forbidden for me to eat meat, because he can't elevate the meat. And so too before prayer, it's forbidden to eat for the same reason. If so, it's the opposite. That the inanimate plant and animal, they receive their completeness from man. And from this you have a lesson, the opposite. That man is higher than much higher than the inanimate plant and animal.